joining me. So it looks like all right. So the fight's over between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, and what everybody thought was gonna happen happened, but we thought it was gonna happen in the first or second round. But in the sixth round, Anthony Joshua knocked out Jake Paul. It wasn't a complete knockout. It wasn't like he was knocked out cold, but Jake Paul thinks his jaw is broken, and there was a right hand that it was a right hand from Anthony Joshua that put him down, and that's all she wrote. What do I think about this fight? Well, it's interesting because this fight, Jake Paul did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He got on his bike and started running around, okay? Because he's a smaller boxer and the more less experienced boxer and this and that, less technical, he basically got on his bike and started running around, okay? And at the end of the work, what Jake Paul was doing was working. He survived to sixth round, but it's hard to knock out somebody when they're running the whole fight, okay? When they're running around. And again, Jake Paul did what had to do, but he got knocked down like 3 or 4 times. Yes, yes, Jake Paul did. Yeah, so yeah, they had I had a hookup at the arena where the boxing match was at by my house. I had a hookup to get some tickets, and then at the last minute, at the last minute, he goes, "It was all sold out." I have a connection that works for the Heat. That works for the arena, and then when he went to get my tickets, it was gone. So, but yeah, so Jake Paul did what he had to do. He ran, which I thought he was going to do, and because remember when I broke down this fight earlier this week, I said that Jake Paul is gonna start out just getting on his bicycle, running around, running around, running around. Okay, running around, punch, and then run around, and he did that. He did that. It's hard to knock out somebody when they're running around. Okay, you could tell Anthony Joshua was waiting for the right time. And people thought that Jake Paul was gonna get knocked out in the first or second round. I give him credit. He hung around to the sixth round, but at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua was just way too big, way too powerful, way too technical, way too patient. And a couple of times, Jake Paul went for a takedown. No lie, chat. A couple of times, Jake Paul tried to take him down like it was MMA. Okay, that was kind of weird. That was kind of weird. In fact, the referee had to warn Jake Paul to stop trying to take him down. And then Jake Paul held him a lot. Jake Paul got a couple of punches there, but it didn't phase Anthony Joshua at all. Okay, but I'm still part of Jake Paul. Love him or hate him, he did get in there with a killer, and you know, again, he didn't engage that much. And can you blame him? Can you blame him? That was the whole game plan. Move, 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 stick and move, 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 move. And Anthony Joshua, you could tell Anthony Joshua is a very disciplined fighter. He didn't fall for the fanatic. He didn't fall for all the crazy stuff that he was doing. Excuse me for a minute. You know, you know. Yeah. So I'm still now again. Jake Paul is just not look. Jake Paul started boxing late. Okay, to be a very good boxer, you got to start, in my opinion, when you're like 10 years old. So Jake Paul started late in boxing, so it's hard to become an elite fighter starting late. In boxing. That's just what it is. So there's always gonna be that gap between Jake Paul and elite fighters. Can we personally? Is what you said? Can you personally? Can you talk personally that you fight? What's up? What's up? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So can we talk? Florida, man, Florida. The fight was like 10 minutes from my house. You know, the fight. I live in Miami, Florida, and that's where Miami Heat play at, and the fight's about 10 minutes from my house. Um, yes, yes. So yeah, man. So it's at the end of the day, Jake Paul did what he had to do. Jake Paul did what he had to do. I can't hate on him for that. It's not easy going out there and fighting somebody. Let me move to another location. Give me a second, y'all. Let's go over here. Yeah, let's go over here. So give me a second, y'all. All right, that's a little better right here. So, you know, Jake Paul should have. Jake Paul should not be ashamed. What what he did. He accomplished a lot tonight, but there's levels to this game, and Anthony Joshua is just on a way much higher level than Jake Paul would ever be, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. But you know what, Jake Paul, Jake Paul's stock didn't go down. Jake Paul's stock, what I'm saying, is still high, and reportedly these guys got paid some big money for this, some big money for this. All right, so that right there is a win for both of them. I think I gotta double check, but I think Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul is getting paid like $92 million a piece. You know, hey y'all, smash that like button for me, please. What's up, Shadow? Yeah, smash that like button. Yeah, so I think Jake Paul is getting 92 million, and also Anthony Joshua is getting 92 million. Hey y'all, please don't forget to subscribe. You know, so it's so most people thought that Anthony Joshua was gonna knock him out in the first round, second round. That's what I thought. But it's hard to knock somebody out when they're running around. Now, what's funny is that when I used to fight, I was sparring this poor boxer one time who was trying to knock me out. So I was kind of doing what Jake Paul was doing, meaning that I was moving because I was smaller than him, so I can't move around. So as a smarter fighter, when you're fighting a big when you're fighting a boxer who's bigger than you and more technical than you want to move around. You don't want to stay still because one good hit is gonna knock you out. Okay, one hit is gonna knock you out. But what Jake Paul did today, it was still impressive in a meaning that he wasn't knocked out cold. He got knocked down many times, and he didn't respond to the 8 count. But and Jake Paul said that his jaw is broken. So Anthony Joshua broke Jake Paul's jaw, and we saw the punch when it happened too. It was a straight right hand, boom, right to the jaw, and Anthony Joshua Jake Paul just fell to the ground, and basically didn't get back, didn't get back up, and he's gonna need surgery in his jaw most likely, and he did. Jake Paul did say he's gonna take a break from boxing. Cause he's been going hard for like 6 years. He said, and at the end of the day, man, after this fight, he made so much money that he can. I'm not gonna say retire, but if he made at least $92 million on this fight, I mean, that's just legendary. That's legendary money. Okay, but and then Anthony Joshua called out Tyson Fury. Oh, Anthony Joshua won by TKO knockout in the 6th round. Jake Paul for the first 4 rounds or so just kept running around. Running around, running around, running around. Yeah, Joshua won. Joshua broke his jaw. Yeah. Jake Paul said that his jaw is broken. Yeah, it was a straight right hand. Pah. It was beautiful too because Joshua set him up with the jab and then boom, overhand right. I mean straight right. Boom, knocked him down. And Jake Paul, to give Jake Paul credit, he took the punch, man. Jake Paul took the punch. He got knocked down and didn't get back up, but he took Joshua's punch, and I can see it's hard to knock out Jake Paul, but by saying that though, he still has his jaw broken most likely. So Anthony Joshua broke Jake Paul's jaw. And please, while you're at it, subscribe to the channel, man. Show some love. Show some love. You know, you're getting exclusive post fight breakdown. Yeah, for those of y'all who don't know too, I used to fight also. MMA, Muay Thai, and a whole bunch of Brazilian, some grappling tournaments. We put out for the. So yeah, so that's the thing, man. Only for the ladies I whip it out. Only whip it out for the ladies only. But yeah, but yeah, that's the thing, man. So hats off to Jake Paul for going in there and you know taking on a beast like Anthony Joshua. Hats off to Anthony Joshua for going in there and taking care of business. You know, yeah. You said that you'd have been disappointed if Anthony Joshua has been fighting in there. Yeah, yeah, of course. All of us would have been. All of us would have been disappointed because the fight was only 8 rounds, and Anthony Joshua knocked him out in the 6th round. So basically, the fight was almost over. And if Anthony Joshua didn't knock him out, man, again, it's hard to knock out somebody when they're running running away the whole time. But the problem with running away the whole time is that you actually get tired running away, you know, during the fight. And you could tell Jake Paul got tired, and once he got tired, man, that's where you're more vulnerable. Fatigue makes cowards. Fatigue make cowards of us all. You know, and that's the truth. There's times I've been fighting before, and I've gotten tired before, and but you just got to keep swinging. And Jake Paul did a wonderful job. I don't know if you're a lady or not. You know, stone, stone to the bone. But yeah, man. So that's the thing. That's the thing. This fight, I can't believe, in the year 2025, one of the biggest fight of the year is was Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Just us now. Yeah, I can't believe one of the biggest fight of the year was Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Who would have seen that coming? Who would have seen that coming? Not me. Not me. And Jake Paul was a Disney kid. Jake Paul was a YouTuber. Is a YouTuber. Anthony Joshua is a serious fighter. Um, Olympic gold champion in boxing. 2-time undisputed, unified heavyweight champion. And Jake Paul went in there with him. Got a jaw broken, but still did a decent job. Hey, y'all, don't forget to subscribe to the channel now and smash the like button. Let's grow this channel up. But what's next for Jake Paul? Jake Paul did say that he's gonna take a break, which he should take a break. Wow. Jake Paul should take a break because he's been fighting for 6 years straight, and at the end of the day, it just happened that way. It just happened that way. Again, Jake Paul took on Anthony Joshua in my home state. The fight was 10 minutes from my house. Okay, where the Miami Heat play at. Okay, yeah, I was supposed to get tickets for the fight because I have a connection who works for the Heat, and when he went to get the tickets for me, all the other employees already took tickets. So I was like, oh man. So I was this close, this close, but it's all good though. I mean, the fight was so big, the fight was so huge that everybody wanted to go. The fight was sold out. The fight was sold out. The arena holds about 17,000 people, I think, and the whole thing was sold out. So, you know, so that's the thing. So my thing is, it's all good though. Traffic is crazy right now down, down here in Miami. Anthony Joshua is from the UK, so I don't know when he's gonna fly back to the UK. But he's right here in my home state, my home city. All right, and the stars are out too. Rick Ross was there. I mean, a lot of stars right there. A lot of stars was out here tonight. You know, But Netflix, I gotta say, Netflix is doing this thing, and Netflix this time fixed the issue because when Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson on Netflix, there was too many glitches, you know, because so many people was watching, you know, the video kept freezing. Okay, it kept freezing. But this time around, Netflix fixed the job. Netflix fixed the issue because there wasn't that much. There wasn't any glitching going on. I mean, this time. So, you know, I got people texting me about this. You know, I got people texting me, messaging me. You know, you know. Give me 1 second, chat. Give me a second, chat. Give me a second. But yeah, man. So give me a second. Yeah, so it's, so that's the thing, man. That's the thing. It's like so that's the thing. It's like, at the end of the day, Jake Paul stepped in there, did his thing, and say, you know what? Boom, boom, boom. And Jake Paul got paid. I think he got paid at least $92 million. Anthony Joshua got paid at least $92 million. So at the end of the day, they both got paid. Nobody, both, even though Jake Paul lost, he still kind of won in the sense that, now going forward, if Jake Paul fights somebody much smaller than him or older than him, people really can't complain because he fought, somebody who was younger, bigger. I'm not younger, but bigger, better, and more powerful than him. So at the end of the day, Jake Paul has bragging rights. Okay, he lasted 6 rounds with a true heavyweight champion. He did. He did. Again, he ran most of. When I say he ran most of the fight, it's called getting on your bicycle. For most of the fight, Jake Paul was on the bicycle, running around, boom, 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 hit and running around, and I knew he was going to do that. If you saw my previous, earlier this week, I did a fight breakdown of this fight, and I told y'all that Jake Paul is gonna run around for the first few rounds. He's gonna get on his bicycle and run, run, jab, jab, run, run, and that's what he did. Jake Paul did exactly what I told you he was going to do. He got on his bicycle, his car, and started running around the ring. It was hard for Anthony Joshua to gauge him, to engage with him because it's hard to knock somebody out when they running around in the ring or the cage. It just is. It just is. Cause I guarantee you, if Jake Paul went toe to toe with him at the beginning of the first round, he would have got put to sleep in 30 seconds. I guarantee you that would have happened. You know what did I say about Mike Tyson with AJ knocking just yeah. I mean the whole Mike Tyson fight and Jake Paul it was kind of weird because Mike Tyson stopped punching after the first and a half round. After the first 2 rounds, Mike Tyson basically stopped punching. Um, so that fight was kind of weird because, and Jake Paul really didn't want to knock him out. So it was kind of like, in my opinion, it was a mutual agreement. Hey, let's not go too hard. That's what I think. You know. Um, Also, somebody told me that I gotta check the how the contract was, which I doubt it. But someone told me for the Mike Tyson fight, the longer the fight went, the more money Mike Tyson got. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think it's true, and I hope it's not true. Also, meaning that you know maybe in this fight, maybe it was the longer the fight goes, the more money Anthony gets paid. I don't know. I doubt that. I doubt that because I don't think fight contracts are made like that. For boxing, especially not for MMA. But whatever the case, so my Tyson fight, it was kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Hey y'all, smash the like button for me, y'all, and also press that subscribe button. Let's grow this community up. You know, you know, you know. Let's grow this community up. You know. So that's the thing. Um, that's the thing. So what now, chat? What now? What's next for these? Both of these guys. So Anthony Joshua says he wants to fight Tyson Fury. That's gonna be a big fight. Jake Paul says he want to take a break from fighting. First of all, if his jaw is broken, he gonna need to take a break because his jaw is broken. Okay, and it's gonna be a while for the jaw to heal. So Jake Paul made a lot of money. He's been going hard for 6 years. I'm not saying Jake Paul should retire by any means, but I don't see him being champion. I just don't. It's not hating. I just don't. But boxing is a dangerous sport, and he accomplished a lot in boxing, and he might retire, y'all. Jake Paul might retire and go into something else. I don't know what it is. Maybe WWE. I don't know. Maybe MMA. Nah, I doubt MMA. MMA is not gonna pay as much as boxing does for sure. You know, MMA is not gonna pay Jake Paul as much as he gets paid from boxing. But but overall, good time. What is it? Yeah. God bless everybody. You praise the Lord. God bless everybody. Yes, 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 yes. But at the end of the day, it was entertaining. It was entertaining. Everyone, pretty much everyone thought Anthony Joshua was gonna knock out Jake Paul, and he did. We just thought it was gonna be in the first or second round. It happened in the sixth round, but that's because Jake Paul kept running the whole fight, and Jake Paul was running most of the fight, and also doing MMA takedown attempts. No lie, no lie. Jake Paul went for the takedown at least 4 times. No lie, no lie. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. He did. Jake Paul did not want to get hit at all, at all. Man, y'all smash. All right, so thanks for the love, everybody. Smash that like button. Look out for my next live, okay? I might do like an actual like a breakdown and show you exactly how Anthony Joshua won, and also how what Jake Paul could have done better. All right. Hey, thanks for the support. All right, I'll see y'all later.